Hey, g'day, Rudy here. So this video is all about the small caps now outperforming the big caps on the ASX. So is that true? And then, which it is true, which we'll go through that. Then there's a handful of small cap ETFs out there, so which is the best one? Alright, so let's start off with the, so we're on a monthly chart. Looking at the XKO, which is the ASX 300, so the big caps. I'll just go to a weekly chart. So we're still okay. The can still come down as long as sort of 85-50 holds, then that's still okay. But there's a bit of a topping pattern going on there. Whereas if you look at the SSO, so this is the small cap index. If we go to a monthly chart, you can see that's it's gone through resistance with a nice green candle. So you can see there's no downturn. So let's confirm it. So this is the XSO over the XKO. So when this is going up, it means the small is outperforming the big. So we can see we've had a bit of a double bottom down here, a break of this downtrend line, which is bullish. So that's stage one gone. It's now broken through this prior support, which was resistance, so that's gone. So final confirmation is when it breaks this trend line, but I think the nail's in the coffin. The small caps are going to outperform the big caps. And that flows through to, so this is XSO over VAS, because VAS basically is your big caps. And when we say small caps, it's basically companies still in the ASX 300, but they're not in the top 100. That's sort of the how it's filtered. So it's the same chart as you'd expect, because VAS tracks the XKO. So if you want to get some outperformance on your VAS from an Australian share perspective, because there are other options, but this one's just focused on ASX small caps. Okay, so as I said, there's a handful of them out there. So there's the ISO, and it tracks the small odds index, charges 0.55. And there's another one, SSO, which again, it tracks the same index, the small ordinaries index, but only charges 0.5. Okay, so the types of companies so so both of them have. So there's about, you can see the weightings here: Ramelius, Genesis, Zip, Capricorn, Eagers, Harvey, Volt, and the list goes on. So we won't go through each of their charts. So we're just going to have a look at all the compare them both. Okay, so ISO and VSO are basically the same. Okay. Then there's this other one, there's VSO. So it tracks the Australian shares small cap index. So it's a bit different. So if we look at who's in that one, so this is the VSO, so you can see it's a bit of a different mix. JB Hi-Fi, Technology, Linus, Charter Hall, GPD, NextDC, Orica. So a bit of a different mix in there, we can see. So if we we'll take the SSO because that's the cheaper one. So if we do the SSO over VSO, then we can see SSO is about, they've been ranging together, but SSO, because it's got a few more gold stocks in there, which I think is doing the job and will continue to do the job. So I would be buying that. So that's SSO then. So far, SSO is our winner. Okay, so now there's another one. MVS. Okay, so this is another index, except they throw a bit of a filter on it. This growth, value, quality, profit, only 50 holdings. So they apply a filter in this index. So the types of companies you've got in there. So there's higher weightings in there because there's less holdings than the other ones we went through. So you've got Parenti, Codan, Ostal, SRG, Ramelius, NRW, Genesis, Gold Resource, Capricorn, a few gold stocks there, Hub 24, AMP, Volt, another gold, Monadelphous, Mining, Megaport, West Africa, Regis. So they're the types of names in here. So we compare the pair again. So MVS over SSO. Okay, now if I was just looking at this as a chart, just a stock by itself, that's what we call a bull flag. So big green candle with a down sloping flag, which is bullish, but it does typically need to be broken. But I'd say we're more buying at the bottom here, and that will outperform. Mainly because it's filtering out according to a metric, and it's got some nice gold stocks in there. Okay, so let's call MVS the winner. Okay, so then there's this other one, SMLL. Okay, so they're another the Nasdaq Small Cap Index. They've got their own little filters: financial stability, valuation, price momentum, liquidity. So very nice, and it's 0.39%. 70 holdings from the top 350. So they go outside the 300. They go into the 350. And it's the cheapest one, and that looks like a good setup. So who's in there? Okay, oh, look at that, very nice. Perseus, Genesis, Eagers Automotive, Capricorn, Volt, Harvey, A2 Milk, Codan, Ventia, Metcash. I'll download the CSV. Anyway, that gets a feeling. So we're loaded up with some top gold stocks there. And Harvey, A2 Milk, Codan, Ventia, they're all good. So let's have a look at the chart then. So let's okay, so we got small SMLL over MVS. Okay, so we've got another bull flag going on here, because usually these consolidations go in the prior direction. So prior direction was up, so this going up implies SMLL is the winner. So SMLL, that's the guy that's going to be the best performing small cap stock. Now, we had a couple of throw-ins. They're small cap global ETFs, so not in the same bucket, but we'll see how they go. So we've got this VISM, which MSCI World X Australia Small Cap Index. Okay, so how does VISM go over small? Okay, so I should really have a bit of a trend line, a bit of a okay. Alright, so the other thing, alright, so Vism, so this guy here is unhedged. So if Aussie dollar goes up, it's going to hinder his performance going forward. Now it's an interesting one. If that was a stock, well, the first warning sign is it's broke this trend line. So that's sort of step one to saying bullish momentum would have picked up around here. So it's sitting right on support. So I'd rather sell that. So that means small is going to outperform Vism. And I think with the rising Aussie dollar, small will probably get him, I reckon. But it's not 100% confirmed. But anyway, we don't want to risk the Aussie dollar going up. We want to keep it at home especially if you're switching VAS. Because I think the idea was keep it Australia. But anyway, I was throwing these suggestions. So then there's this DGSM, which is another global small cap active. So they're picking and choosing who should go in there. So how does DGSM go over small? Now that looks like a pretty good, because DGSM will have the Aussie dollar impacts, but I reckon going down means small outperforms DGSM. But if it bounces, so if DGSM has a bit of a kick here, then he would outperform. But anyway, being in small, I don't think you're missing out on anything. Then there's this famous WAM, pays 9% div, but doesn't have the growth. So WAM over small. So small's got it. It's going down means small's been outperforming for donkey's years. Alright, so the final test for him, the king, small over MVR. So you'd have to say that's a bit of a bull flag going on there. Up, sideways to up. So it's not confirmed yet, but he should, with all those gold stocks in there. So it's saying small will outperform the king MVR. Alright, so there you go. SMLL is your small cap ETF of choice. Alright, let us know your thoughts. Love some feedback. Thanks. See ya.